Belgian French is the variety of French spoken mainly among the French Community of Belgium, alongside related OL languages of the region such as Walloon, Picard, Champenois and Lorrain. The French language spoken in Belgium differs very little from that of France or Switzerland. It is characterized by the use of some terms that are considered archaic in France, as well as loanwords from languages such as Walloon, Picard and Dutch. French is one of the three official languages of Belgium alongside Dutch and German. It is spoken natively by around 41% of the population, primarily in the southern region of Wallonia and the Brussels capital region. Influences: while a number of OL languages have traditionally been spoken in different areas of Wallonia, French emerged as the regional language of literature in the 13th century. This was a result of heavy French cultural influence on the region over the past few centuries. Owing to the diversity of local languages, the French language in Wallonia was influenced by them, with words from Walloon, Picard, Champenois and Lorrain making their way into the local variant. Until the 20th century, Walloon was the majority language of Wallonia, and most speakers were bilingual in both French and Walloon. While the French spoken in Wallonia was influenced by local languages, the variant spoken in Brussels was influenced by Dutch, specifically the local Brabantian dialect. The city, geographically located within the Flanders region, was originally just a Dutch-speaking city. However, a gradual Frenchification took place beginning in the 19th century and intensifying towards the end of that and continuing throughout the next century. Today, many Dutch idioms or expressions have been translated into French and are used as such in the Brussels area. Phonology: there are a few consistent phonological differences between the French spoken in France and Belgian French, but usually no more than the differences between regional dialects within France, which might be even non-existent. Regional accents, however, can vary from city to city, but on the whole they may vary more according to one's social class and education. While stronger accents have been more typical of working-class people, they have become much less pronounced since World War I and the widespread use of television, which has helped to standardize accents and the types of words speakers will use. Within the French Community of Belgium, standard French pronunciation is taught to students. The following differences vary among speakers, depending on their level of education, age, and the region they come from. Major phonological differences include: lack of the approximant, the combination is replaced by, and in other situations becomes a full vowel. Thus for most Belgian speakers, the words in few and in fur are homophones. The nasal vowels are pronounced like in French of France. A florin, a florin, a micron. The distinction between the nasal vowels and is upheld in Belgian French, whereas in many regions of France, these two sounds have merged. Thus, in Parisian French brin and brun are pronounced the same way, but not in Belgian French. The distinction between the vowels and is upheld, whereas in France, these two sounds have merged. The words meter and more registered trademarked are pronounced differently in Belgian French. The distinction between the vowels and is upheld in final open syllables, the words po and pot are pronounced differently. They are pronounced the same in French of France and in Quebec French. A stronger distinction exists between long and short vowels. While long vowels are constrained to closed syllables in French of France, Belgian French also has them in absolute final position: I copyright, O copyright, I copyright, ye, I way copyright, ye, I copyright, ye, I copyright, a and I copyright, ae. As a result, almost all feminine adjectives are phonetically distinct from their masculine counterparts for Belgians. The marginal phoneme is most of the time rendered as a lengthened version of "ri". The letter W is almost always pronounced, the same as in English, which also approximates Flemish W. In France, it is often pronounced as in German. For example, the word wagon is pronounced in Standard French, but in Belgian French. For some speakers, final stops are devoiced, D becomes T, B becomes P, and G becomes K. Combined with the dropping of consonants in final consonant clusters, this leads to pronunciations like E angstrom A florin ET, instead of E angstrom A florin ED, and type E, instead of. Certain accents, such as certain urban accents, as well as the accents of older speakers, and particularly less educated speakers, display greater deviation from standard French pronunciation. For example, in the dialect spoken in and around Liège, particularly among older speakers, the letter H is pronounced in certain positions, whereas it is never pronounced in standard French. That dialect is also known for its slow, slightly singing intonation, a feature that is even stronger farther east, in the Verviers area. Vocabulary: words unique to Belgian French are called Belgicisms. Incidentally, this term is also used to refer to Dutch words used in Belgium but not in the Netherlands. In general, the upper middle class or well-educated Belgian francophones understand the meaning and use of words in standard French, and may also use standard French when speaking with a non-Belgian who speaks in standard French. Overall, the lexical differences between standard French and Belgian French are minor. Furthermore, in many instances, these same speakers would be well aware of these differences and might even be able to standardize their language or use each other's words to avoid confusion. Even so, there are too many to try to form any complete list in this article. Some of the better-known usages include the following: the use of septanti for 70, and nonanti for 90, in contrast to standard French soixantidix and quatrevingt-dix. These words are also used in Swiss French. Unlike the Swiss, however, Belgians never use huitanti in the place of quatrevingt. Although considered a Belgicism Helveticism, septanti and nonanti were common in France as well until around the 16th century, when the composite forms began to dominate. The words for meals vary, as described in the table below. The usage in Belgian, Swiss, and Quebec French accords with the etymology Euro-d'Or copyright jeûner comes from a verb meaning to break the fast. In standard French, however, breakfast is rendered by petit d'Or copyright jeûner. Souper is instead used in France to refer to a meal taken around midnight, after going to the opera, the theatre, or a similar nighttime event. Many Walloon words and expressions have crept into Belgian French, especially in eastern regions of Wallonia. Examples include, quatoret, parcati, baraka registered trademark. Germanic influences are also visible. Krul reflects the Brabantic pronunciation of the Dutch word krul. Silverspla registered trademark T is used to mean here as well as please, whereas in France the meaning is limited to please and voilà is used for here. This is comparable to the use of alstublieft in Dutch. Sur means sour, while in France, the word acide is used. Dringel, standard French pourboire, tip, from the Dutch word drinkgeld. Although this is less commonly used in Brussels. Cot from Belgian Dutch kot. Ring from Dutch ring. In standard French, une chintje par copyright rye for copyright rick. Savoir is often used in the place of pouvoir. This was quite common, however, in older forms of French. Blinker, instead of briller, has a German origin, through Walloon. Burgmeister, instead of mayor. Grammar, Germanic influences are also visible. The following: Amy goa te, standard French. A section Amipla registered trademark T, I like it, is a calque of Dutch dat smokt. Cf. Spanish me gusta, to vines avec. Standard French de m'accompagnes. Literally, are you coming with? Is a calque of Dutch comme j'aime. Aa tire ci, compared to standard French il y encore ronde, there is a draft, is a calque of the Belgian Dutch het trekt higher. Phrases such as pour plus vx, passez-moi un bic, pour a copyright kaya, standard French donne-moi un stylo, afin que je puisse copyright kaya, give me a pen, so that I may write / for me to write, is a grammatical structure found in Dutch. Curist say que kist que a section a pour un animal. Standard French quelle sorte d'animal est ce là? English, what kind of animal is this? Dutch, what is dat voor een dier? Usage of une fois in mid-sentence, especially in Brussels, is a direct translation from the Dutch eens. French people who want to imitate the Belgian accent often use a lot of une fois at the end of the sentences, which is often wrong. Example, bij een fois ici, literally from the Dutch, means higher. une fois cannot really be translated in other languages. Its function is to soften the meaning of the sentence. The English equivalent would be could you come here? Or, why don't you come here? Du poker should be jure or poker in Standard French. Inspired by the Dutch poker spellen. See also, Languages of Belgium, Flemish, or Belgian Dutch, the mother tongue of most Belgians, co-official with French and German, Walloon, a Romance language related to French, spoken in Belgium. References. External links, French, Dictionnaire des Belgicismes, a dictionary of Belgicisms.